welcome to Double E Elevating Entrepreneurs. I'm here as your host and owner, Elizabeth Marie, and I'm here with my friend, Kimberly. She is one of the co-founders and co-owners of Power Women. It is made by powerful women for powerful women, and they create custom blazers with you in mind. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Kimberly. I am the co-founder of Power Woman. My other half, Miriam, couldn't be here, but she and I decided to start these blazers and start making them ourselves because we couldn't find them for us when we worked in car sales. We wanted to have pockets so we could go on test drives and feel safe by being able to carry pepper spray or phones, credit cards, a tampon for that time of the month, and we couldn't really find anything like that out there. We also wanted blazers that represented us in terms of style and color and the story behind them so that we could actually walk around and feel like ourselves. And we wanted blazers that would actually fit us. We have broad shoulders and nothing out there actually fit us. So we just decided to start from scratch and make our own, and that's how we ended up here.
That's awesome. So show us a little bit of the inside so people can see what you're talking about.
I'll actually show you her.
Okay, yeah, show us
So,
her.
for example, the BBE, which is a Big Boss Energy, she has everything. Has pockets on the inside for your tampon, in here for your business credit card over here, and then the lining is actually artwork from female artists across the nation. So Shannon from LA, she painted this lining, and then we went ahead and printed it on the inside lining. So every time you open up your blazer, you're able to kind of talk about that artist and not only empower yourself, but also celebrate other women in your community.
Yeah, that's awesome. Perfect. So you guys started in 2019.
Yeah.
So tell everybody a little bit about, you came to the idea to Miriam. You
Yeah.
came to the idea with her. How did that start? Like, where, you said you wanted functionality and everything, but slow it down and talk to us about like where the idea was birthed and like how that beginning stages, like what was that like?
So let's see. In 2018, the end of 2018, I had already been in car sales for a few years. And car sales is a 6 days a week, 11 hours a day. Like, it is a rough and tough job.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew from the get-go, I, number one, enjoyed the customer service aspect of it because I worked for a wonderful company that focused a lot on customer service.
Mm-hmm.
And that I enjoyed, creating an experience for them that they would also love and that they would come back for.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't necessarily enjoy selling cars, right?
Yeah.
So that was my first inkling of, okay, I enjoy this, but I want to make it my own. If I'm going to work this hard, I want to work for myself.
Right.
So I started to brainstorm and think of, okay, what businesses can I create? And I started writing them down, and all of them were a huge flop. I mean, a hostel was in there at one moment. Like,
No way.
Yeah,
I stayed at hostels in Europe.
Yeah, like me too, and I was like, I want to live like this. This
Yeah,
sounds
it's awesome.
Like, I would always see the owner of a hostel just kind of on a hammock, living his best life, and I'm like,
chilling, looking at his Mac.
like, I could definitely do that,
Yeah.
So that it wasn't something that I was like super passionate about, but I was like, okay, maybe in this direction. I ended up not doing that, but then eventually the idea of work clothes came about because I always had a lot of trouble wearing or finding things that spoke to me. But I'm a very fashionable person. Like, I love dressing up and like,
I can tell.
yeah, like just being like expressive
Look at
with
those
my
earrings,
yes.
though. And her necklace, Power Woman.
It's Power Woman and Cool Mom.
Cool Mom.
Yeah. So like, I've always liked the expressive aspect of fashion, but when I was at work for so many years, I lost that entirely. Like, if you were to see my wardrobe back then, you would not be able to see who I was at all, not even an inkling of that. And so I didn't really feel very confident. And then on top of that, like I said, I had to carry keys, like multiple keys in my hands, and I had to do some test drives that I was just like, oh, I feel a little uncomfortable. I wish I could carry like something to protect myself.
Yeah.
And so by 2018, the idea of work clothes came about, and we started off with a pant actually. And it was a pant with tummy control. And I'm so glad we didn't do that because Sarah Blakely from Spanx did that, and I'm not about to compete with Spanx. Like, I'm good. She's got billions, I've got dollars. I'm good. So we kind of, even before she launched hers, we were like, I don't know, it wasn't working out for us, so we decided to kind of move into other areas of workwear. and we moved into blazers, and then we started exploring like dresses and all this stuff, but blazers just kept our interest, and we dove into it in a very detailed fashion. So we decided to just make it our niche. Like blazers is what we want to create, and it's what we enjoy the most, and it's what we needed the most. Like I didn't have trouble finding dresses and all that. I had most trouble finding blazers that I liked and that fit me and that were functional to me and all that.
Yeah.
So in 2018, I called Miriam. I asked her if she wanted to be a part of this, and she immediately said yes. And then we found out that we were pregnant.
Oh.
Not Miriam and I, my husband and I.
Oh, I thought you were both pregnant at the same time. Okay.
Well, that was part of the deal.
Oh,
and she
okay.
bailed on me.
Oh,
She
okay.
was like, no, I was like, because I was really scared, and she was like, don't worry, like I'll get pregnant with you. And she literally was like, I was totally kidding. I cannot believe you're pregnant right now. And so now she's pregnant, but it was 3 years later.
That's funny.
But so I found out we were pregnant, and I was like, okay, I cannot. It was a high risk pregnancy, and I knew that I could not maintain that level of work,
Right.
and keep my baby inside me healthy, and start a company.
Yeah.
So I decided to focus on my baby, and I decided to bet on myself. And so in January of 2019, I quit my job.
Nice.
Which was, looking back, I'm like, was I drunk? Like, what? Are those the baby hormones? Like, why would I do that? I was newly pregnant. My husband had just started his job.
Oh, wow.
So he wasn't making much at all.
Yeah.
We had just bought a piece of land thinking that we were going to build a house on it because we had 2 incomes, and we were able to. And then I was like, no, I'm going to start this business, and we're going to have this baby, and I'm going to quit my job.
Nice.
So it was like the world happened all at once.
Yeah.
And then I had Sophie in August 2019.
Yes.
Sold our first blazer September 2019.
Nice.
And
So talk to us about the first sale. Like, how did that feel?
So
who was it to? What did you sell?
Oh, I remember. I totally remember. It was, I won't say her name, but I know who she is. She's still a close friend of mine.
Awesome.
She's a sweetie, and she was like fascinated with the blazers, but it was a group of women. It was a lot of women. We sold a lot of blazers that night, and their excitement was just so, like, I mean, obviously when you start a business, you're like, okay, people are gonna like this. That's why you start it, because you're like, this, you'll speak to someone. But when you see it happening in real life, you're like, oh my gosh, someone likes this.
Yeah.
Like someone likes this. Someone is spending their money on this, and that's wild. It was a month after my daughter was born, so I was like, my boobs were leaking, like I was sweating, and I don't. This might be TMI, but women, whenever they give birth and they're breastfeeding, they have a particular smell to them.
Oh.
And I was very stinky.
Oh no.
I was like sweating, hormonal, leaking, but just having the time of my life.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. I was like, this is insane. Like, this is like happening right in front of me. And my friends were there. It was awesome. But it was tough because the pandemic started right after that.
Right.
So we had a beautiful beginning, and then it came to a screeching halt in the new year. Like literally, February we started hearing stuff. March it all stopped.
So what did you guys do?
So
that's a huge obstacle.
Huge. I mean, you're selling work clothes and nobody's working from in the office. Nobody needs clothes. Everybody can just walk around butt naked now because everybody's working from home.
So you're like, okay, that's like our supply and demand.
Yeah,
there is supply, but we have no demand.
Exactly. So
no.
Luckily, we weren't making pants. We were making blazers, and those are from the waist up.
Yeah.
So people still needed to be in front of cameras, like for Zoom calls, and they needed those blazers to look professional, right?
Okay.
So that was like our saving grace, but it was 6 months of not a single sale. It was crickets. And so we hunkered down, and I focused on, because we had no organic sales. Every sale that we had prior to the pandemic was in person, had pop-ups, because no one knew who we were.
Yeah,
But
you were
once
small, kind of growing.
Yeah, so, but when people saw the product, they would buy it, but unless they saw it in person, they didn't know who we were, what we were, anything like that. So we just focused on social media and on our online sales. And I honestly, looking back, that was really helpful, to be honest. Like, that pause that we were forced to take that made us focus on social and online made it so that when everything started back up, we already had organic sales. We already had like people interested in our blazers naturally from word of mouth. So we went ahead and did a lot of pop-ups after the pandemic, but we didn't have that need as much as we did at the beginning. So it made us focus on the things we needed to focus, but it was terrifying.
Yeah.
Like 6 months of after you've invested thousands of dollars and nothing is happening.
Yeah.
Like that was terrifying, but I'm glad we stuck to it.
Yeah,
and here we are.
That's
you know?
awesome.
Yeah.
So so you guys designed the blazers. So walk us through that. Like, are you guys doing the graphic design? Are you actually sewing the product?
So I can
give
barely
us the
sew
process.
a button. Like I can literally barely sew a button. So
Okay.
I'm not. Thankfully for all my customers, I'm not sewing anything.
Okay.
But so we do all the designing.
Okay.
I choose every fabric, every button, every style. Our pattern is unique to us.
Okay.
Because we do everything from scratch. The size chart is completely from scratch. We don't
Okay.
use standard size charts, which is why a lot of our blazers feel tailored, because we base it
Okay.
on the American woman. So
Okay.
our bodies aren't as narrow, and we're a little bit taller. So
Okay.
than what the size charts that manufacturers typically use.
Okay.
So we make sure to account for that. And so we had to start from scratch on that aspect, and that has helped us a lot actually. Now the artwork on the lining,
Yes.
that is actually female artists from across the nation.
That's so awesome. What gave you guys that idea?
That was by accident.
Oh.
I did not come up with that. It was an accident that we were at a pop-up and we were popping up across from Kenzie Smith. She's an artist here in Dallas.
Yes.
And my co-founder Miriam saw her artwork and I was like, you gotta go check her out. Her art is so pretty. I walked by her art and immediately I was like, I have to have this. Like, I gotta. And then she walked me over to our booth and she's like, your blazers are so cute. And as she was talking, I was like, what if we put these paintings in our blazers? But like, I think at that point, so why we knew we could do that was because we were making a white blazer that had a pink marble lining.
Oh,
and
pretty.
I couldn't find the perfect pink marble.
Okay.
I wanted a specific pink marbling to happen. And my manufacturer, after like 10 samples, was like, enough. Just give us a picture and we'll print it on the lining. And I was like, we can do that? I was like, girl, if we can do that,
the
let
world
me tell
is
ya.
endless now.
Yeah, it opened up my world.
So many possibilities.
Oh yeah. So then I was like, forget the pink marble. I'm gonna find some artwork, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how it kind of happened.
That's awesome. I love that. And how many do you work with now? How many?
Okay,
artists?
right now I've worked with 4 artists: Jill, Chera, Kenzie, and Shannon.
Okay.
I'm working with 1 more right now.
Nice.
And I just reached out to another that is interested.
Okay.
And so I am really excited about that. And another one just reached out to me, which is like the coolest thing ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I checked out her artwork and I love it. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping I get to work with these 3 new artists in this year.
Yeah.
But I work with all of our artists continuously throughout the year. I like to meet them where they're at. So I typically don't commission. I just work with what they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So whenever you guys first started, so you have different names for your blazers. What was the first one called?
The first one was okay. First one we had 4 blazers, and it was called the Everyday Blazer.
Everyday Blazer.
The Everyday Blazer, we had it in blue, black, light blue, and pink.
Okay.
And then we had the Gloria, which was named after my mother, and the Glorias in Miriam's family because she has a lot of Glorias, and we're surrounded by powerful women.
Okay.
And like the Versatile, but we didn't really start having fun with the names until our second round.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, girl, the She Means Business, the Powerful and Pink, the Big Boss Energy.
That's
like,
this one.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna have the what.
What's
like,
yours
hard.
called?
This one's called the As If.
After
Clueless. Yeah, As If. Just like that, yeah. Like we have so many names, like the what like it's hard.
It looks like a Clueless blazer.
100%. Everybody that sees this blazer is like, wait, that looks just like Clueless. And I'm like, perfect. That's exactly what I want
what
you to
you're
feel.
going for.
I'm a big Clueless fan. I love
it
movie.
too.
Cher, Cher and Dion.
I know.
Wait, Dion's a boy.
No, Dion's the boy.
Dion's a boy?
Yeah.
What's the girl's name?
Dion is the boyfriend. I don't remember.
What was
I
her name?
blinked.
Cher and
Shoot.
what is her name?
I don't know.
Do you
Now
remember?
we're gonna have to Google.
I didn't even watch the movie.
You didn't watch the movie?
Oh.
Come on.
Yeah.
A classic.
We'll think of it. We'll think of it.
Do you know that movie is actually it's based on what's that It's based on Emma? No.
Hmm.
It's based on Emma. No. It's based on a book
Oh, okay.
that we've all read.
Okay.
Like a classic book.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, it's based on Emma. Have you seen Emma?
No.
It's like an old period piece.
Okay.
And like Gwyneth Paltrow has done it.
Okay.
You've seen it.
Okay.
I would be shocked if you haven't seen it.
I'm like,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love it. And that's why I name all my blazers after like really cool movies or
Yeah.
women that inspire me from movies
Okay.
or, you know, just like that.
I love that. So, you mentioned you work with manufacturers. How did you find your manufacturers?
So our manufacturer, we get really lucky in that my cousin was already working with them because she designed like maybe 2 or 3 pieces on her own.
Oh, cool.
And she doesn't do that anymore, but she was just kind of playing around with it, and she had just found them by chance. So she gave me their contact info, but I will say you can find any manufacturer, and I have directed many people to this on Alibaba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
cool.
if you're ever interested in designing or creating anything, whether it be a plastic, fabric, shoe, anything, you can
Yeah.
go to Alibaba
Okay.
and you can find a manufacturer.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
So, tell us or walk us through. A lot of people are starting their business, kind of wanting to grow. They're wanting to expand. How did your scaling process look like?
Okay, this is a really good question because people don't really talk about this. We romanticize, and we met at a pitch competition.
Yes,
so
we did.
we met at a pitch competition. So like, people romanticize pitching to investors a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole process of receiving a lot of money
Mhm.
from other people to fund their business.
Good idea. Yeah.
And a lot of people will just be obsessed with this stage of the process, which is like finding investors, but they don't really think past that. They're just so obsessed with like pitching their idea and finding someone who will get to give them money that when it gets to that point where they receive the money,
Mm-hmm.
it all just kind of goes to hell because like they haven't really thought that far,
Yeah.
or they don't think about the fact that like, what is my product actually doing? Who is it really for?
Mhm.
And they're most of the time they're just creating it for the investor.
Right.
The investor's not going to be your customer.
Mhm.
They're gonna invest if you have a customer.
Right. Yeah.
So-
they're waiting for that
Ex-
connection.
Exactly. And so we have a mindset of conservative, stable, and steady growth, which
Mhm.
means we don't pump money in unnecessarily.
Okay.
We keep an extremely low overhead.
Smart.
I'm the only employee.
So tell people with that in mind. There's a lot of people starting and they have a shoestring budget. How do you cut corners? Like how do you guys keep it small?
So having a shoestring budget is good because it forces you to learn all the aspects of your business so that when you are at a point where you're ready to hire someone, you have some knowledge of what you're hiring them to do. So it is a huge benefit, and I encourage everybody to experience that because if you have the idea and you get a lot of money and you start hiring people, you don't know what you're hiring for, you know? So at the beginning, and now, like what we do is if I don't know how to do something, I go on Google and I learn how to do it.
Yeah.
I go on YouTube and I learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And if it's something that I absolutely cannot learn or don't really want to spend a lot of time doing, or if my time is more valuable spent elsewhere, then I will hire someone out.
Okay.
So I've hired obviously a lawyer because I'm not about to law.
Me.
I'm not gonna law. I've hired.
Nope.
We use an accountant.
Okay. Yeah,
I-
me too.
I cannot math. to
Nope. I
save
can't
my
math
life.
either.
Not gonna do it.
I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I can do supply and demand, and that's about it.
Girl, I mean, if it has a number on it, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So, but what we are good at is marketing, networking, designing, brainstorming. You know, and the vision of this company comes from us, and that's what we're good at. Is just kind of
Yeah.
pushing that forward and doing the right things to keep the message clear.
Yes.
But like for example, shipping, I can do that.
Yeah.
You know, graphic design, I can do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I taught myself that too.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Canva's free.
Yeah,
Like,
I
let's-
know.
Oh,
Canva is free.
gotta make some movement. Gotta start dancing. There you go.
Yay. Technical glitch, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. These are like motion censored, so that's why.
Yeah.
But like, that helps a lot because I don't have to worry about
Mm-hmm.
a lot of overhead.
Right.
I don't have to worry about what if I can't pay my employees. Like, and that's another thing. Like, I refuse to scale to a point where if the economy goes down, I have to lay people off.
Right.
Like, there are certain companies that will have never and will never lay people off because they don't take investors and because they don't grow beyond their capacity. Like, I grow according to demand. So if more people are requesting our blazers and ordering our blazers, I will order more. But I don't grow based on like speculation. So like we outsourced our CFO, and our CFO has looked at our growth, and we have grown steadily. Like we predict our growth based off of what we've already done.
Yes.
And what is already happening.
Yes.
And so like I don't order in huge quantities. I don't design in huge quantities. I'm not designing for the masses. I'm designing for specific women. And that helps a lot.
That's awesome. I like that. That's a smart, very smart mindset.
And it's also a very stress-free mindset.
Yeah.
Like, oof, I mean, I can't imagine having somebody else's money and then being stressed about like not having a return immediately. Like that stresses me out.
Yeah. No, definitely. So I was gonna ask you, can you show off your mannequin? So she doesn't only have a blazer,
No.
but what else does she have?
So she also has this. Also, a lot of offices are very strict about what women can wear. Annoyingly enough, I get it. Whatever, dress code. But a lot of them say you can't wear shorts. So what I've done is I've wrapped this entire short in a skirt. But surprise, surprise, she's a rule breaker. She's actually a short. But she has, on both sides, real pockets, like deep pockets. So like your whole hand reaches in there. Oh, she goes even deeper. This is a little creepy, but her whole hand fits in there. So she can fit, whatever she needs to carry in that skirt, no matter what. And she has a pocket on both sides, so she's not limited to just one side. So like we are working on creating sets, creating pants, skirts, dresses, all of that. But again,
awesome.
We're going at our own pace. I don't have I just don't feel the pressure, or I don't let the pressure get to me of growing at an unsustainable pace.
Right.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. So you created the belt too that you're wearing?
Yeah, so the belt actually comes with this blazer. I wear it on my jeans, but a lot of our customers wear it on their waist instead. I just prefer to wear it on my jeans.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, talk to us a little bit about the name. How did you guys come up with the name?
Yeah.
And how did you decide to do those letters as the initials, I guess you could say?
So I was talking to my mom about names. We were at Legacy West in the food hall.
I love Legacy West.
Yeah, I know, me too. It's so fun there.
Plug in Legacy West.
I know, honestly, and they're very, very
Sponsor
good.
us, Legacy West.
No, and they're very good to small businesses. I was at a Legacy West
Yeah.
Small Business cohort, and they were so generous with us. They made these little cabins for us to pop up at. Every
What?
single weekend, we
Yeah.
were able to pop up there for free.
Wow.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
And that's huge. That's zero overhead for us.
Yes, that's
so
great.
it's amazing. And full return. So we were sitting there and I couldn't think of a name. I'd gone through so many names, and I wanted it to be a name that transcended generations and countries, because
Okay.
I mean, Miriam and I come from different countries. We
Yeah.
immigrated here
We're
when
from
we were young.
Colombia,
Yeah.
and she's from Mexico.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we immigrated here when we were 7 and 10. So we wanted something that more than just we could understand.
Right.
And so when I spelled it out, when I took out the vowels and I spelled it out to my mom, who English is her second language, she understood it immediately.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, okay, that's a good.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. That's the
Yeah.
name. If she gets it, then I know many people will get it.
Yeah.
So that's how we came up with the name.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's so cool.
And it was available on Instagram.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when you guys got started, were you working out of your house? What did that look like? Because I know a lot of people think that they have to have all this stuff together and they have to have their space already for them to build their business. But I want you to break down that barrier that people think that they have to have, and tell them how simplistic it was when you got started.
I appreciate that question because it's so frustrating. You feel so
Inadequate.
yeah, kind of you're an amateur. People are gonna laugh at me if I show them where I'm sitting packing orders, and it's
Yeah.
the floor of my closet or the
Yeah.
floor of my basement or
Yeah.
something. People are gonna laugh at me,
Right.
and so I showed all of that because I was I don't care if people laugh at me. Someone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, me too. You know?
Right.
So we first started shipping out of my mom and dad's, my old bedroom
Okay.
in my parents' house.
I love that.
Yeah, so there's a picture of me with like newborn Sophia shipping out from there. I covered all the walls in blazers, and then I was using those racks right there in my mom's house, and then they got too out of hand. So then we moved into a storage unit, and the storage unit was awful. It was so creepy because someone I know was living there, and
Wow.
he would preach about the apocalypse and about death
Yeah,
and
great.
sinners and all that stuff loudly to no one, just out there, just putting it out there. And I would run in with my newborn, grab the blazers to ship, and then run out. Like, it wasn't a space that I could enjoy, you know?
Yeah.
So then we moved everything to Miriam's closet. She had an extra closet room, basically.
Okay.
It was like in between a room and a closet. And that wasn't aesthetically pleasing either, but it held our blazers,
okay.
yeah. And then I think a year
Things
and a
aren't
half
always
ago,
beautiful. I think people think that they have
No.
to be. So I appreciate your transparency with it.
they absolutely don't have to be. They have to be whatever you need them to be.
Yes.
That is it.
You just make it happen.
Yeah. Like don't break the bank trying to look cute.
Yeah.
Like, don't.
Yeah.
Like, I have customers be like, oh, I can't afford the blazer. Then don't buy it. This is
Yeah.
not the time. We will still be here, I promise.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna push it on you. Like, save your money.
Yeah.
But we got into this warehouse about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah. We were already making profit, and we've been in business for almost 4 years. So
Okay.
we were
That's
well
amazing.
into our journey before we decided to invest in a space. I 100% recommend it when you're ready, because I wanted to wait to a point where I would not be stressed about making this rent. Like, I
Right.
wouldn't be selling blazers to make rent. You know, like, we were already steadily, like, every month making more than the rent, so I wouldn't have to worry about that.
The rent. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it got to a point where I needed a space so I could grow. Like, I needed a place to put the blazers, and so I could buy more blazers.
Yeah.
You know? And so we pulled the trigger on this, and it's weird because it's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
You know, you never know. But in this situation, this space has fostered, like, growth for us because we're able to create content. I'm able to, you know, have more room to store blazers, more inspiration to design, everything. So it has been a good move for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. So, tell us about some other struggles you faced when you were growing pains, when you were building your business, and how you overcame them.
Growing pains. I mean, we don't have a background in design, and we don't have a background in business. So a growing pain was learning how to design a blazer, learning what works on a blazer and what works on women. The size chart was huge growing pain because I edit it each production round. I take all my customers' feedback, and if they say the shoulders are too tight and I'm a true XL, I'm making the shoulders wider.
Yeah.
Like, period. And the manufacturer hates it, but it's like,
You're making it custom.
I'm making it for my girls. Like,
Yeah.
it has to feel good on them.
Yeah.
So,
And
you
your
know,
sizes, real quick, they're extra small to 3XL.
yeah.
Okay.
And I hope to expand that even more.
Okay.
But you know, we have to grow at our pace.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna overextend
Not
myself.
putting the cart before the horse.
Exactly.
It won't work that way.
It will never work that way.
Yeah.
Another growing pain has been knowing, like, how to scale, when to scale, and how much to scale. And that is why we decided to move forward with outsourcing a CFO, because one thing that I know we have is like a good gut instinct, but I could not continue to run the business on gut alone. I wanted to run it on data. And so when we outsourced our
Smart.
CFO, I asked her to give me actual numbers, exactly how many blazers do I need to order and design to make this much money, and to be able to pay myself this much money, and then eventually be able to pay Miriam this much money. Like, very strategic type ordering. And that was a growing pain because I didn't want to pay anybody for that, but it was like, okay, I either pay them or I don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, learning how to design, like, pants, that's a growing pain. It's a growing pain in my ass, I'll tell you that much. I don't like it. But I have to learn how to do it. Learning how to do the thing about entrepreneurship is that every single day is the first day.
Yeah.
Like, there's never a day where I'm like, oh, I'm so used to this.
I know.
Like,
it's like, woo,
yeah. As soon
riding the wave.
as soon as I get used to it, something new hits me in the face. I'm like, oh my god, back to YouTube. I go back to Google. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Every time I have to Google a question, I'm like, again?
I know.
You know?
Yeah, Google's a great friend though.
It's a great
helped
friend.
me a ton with my business.
It is. I'm just like, I'm like ready. I say this, but then I don't want to, like, I'm ready to get to a point where things are known to me.
Yeah.
But I also, like, the reason I quit my old job is because I stopped learning.
Yeah, I also like it too.
Yeah. So
it's like the best of both worlds.
Exactly. Yeah. It keeps like, I've never felt more alive than I have owning my own business. Like, the creativity for me is an absolute necessity. Like, I love solving problems.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing that in my old job.
No.
So now that I am, it just like, I feel the juices moving.
Yeah.
I feel the brain moving.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
yeah.
awesome. I love it. And it's funny you said, start in your closet, but that's how I started my podcast.
Yeah.
When I did my own interviews, like I was in the floor in my closet.
I
with
mean,
the door shut.
and
so I wouldn't echo.
But that's amazing. Like, I wish more
And
people
now
would share it.
Now I have a space. So
Like, the thing is, like, when people become famous and that's what you're seeing, like, when you're introduced to someone or something at a stage when they're already a big person, you assume that that's where they started.
Right.
And you weren't there for, like, the awkward. I mean, if you scroll all the way down to our first picture, also please don't do that.
Please don't either.
I left them up there, but please don't do that.
I know.
It's like some earring pictures with like an onion. I'm not even kidding. Oh my
Oh,
god, I'm so
man.
embarrassed. It's like an onion and like some earring pictures.
Oh, okay. Mine's not that bad, but you can tell my graphic design.
Wow.
I love. I say that in love.
Oh god, it was like
I didn't put an onion with my face.
I was like, oh, these colors go. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I need to find that picture.
Just delete it.
No, I leave it up because like
That's true. Show you where you came from.
yeah, I want other girls to be
My
like
graphic design, to be fair, was horrible when I started. If you look back, you're gonna be like, this looks like a kid made it. And then you look at what I have now for like my Wednesday wisdom, and you're like, that looks nice and professional. But you look at the old ones, and you're like, what is this?
Like sometimes people are like, how'd you make that? I'm like, because you should see the shitty ones I made before.
Oh, I
like
know.
This is
And I thought that one was good.
Yeah.
I thought that one was good, and I look back and I'm like, what was I thinking?
That's what's wild. Like, you have to be a little bit delusional to be an entrepreneur.
You do.
Like the fact that
like, yeah, I got this. This is
the fact that
that
you're
right
like,
there.
Yeah, the fact that you're like, hey, everybody, come look at this.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you're like, what was I thinking? No wonder no one liked the picture.
Yeah, and then like it reminds me of like children when they're like, you gotta come see this tray.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
Yeah, and they like jump up like this high off the ground, and you're like, whoa.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's what I expected everybody to be like, wow. You know?
Yeah, this is incredible. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
You're a genius.
Yeah, I know. My friends were cute to me though. They were nice. They're like, wow, these earrings are
Same.
beautiful.
Yeah, they're like, you look so good.
I know.
I love it.
Thank
I'm
God
like,
for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah, that's awesome. So talk to us about the material.
So the material that I chose for the majority of them is a stretching material. So
That's
these
nice.
blazers are meant to go with you. Like, I don't want you to take them off because you're doing any type of activity. Like, you should be able to wear them in the office, at brunch, when you get home, like all of that. So they're stretchy, they're flexible, they're moisture wicking, they are breathable, they're able to travel with you. They are machine washable, so that you're not stuck with a cost of maintenance on top of paying for a blazer.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like
that's
I
a good
want-
selling feature.
Oh yeah, like I don't take my blazers to the dry cleaner. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
The dry cleaner, a lot of my customers do take them because they're just like, I hate washing clothes. I'm not gonna fold, and I'm like,
I
mad
do
respect.
too. Mine, to be honest, right now, they're all over my bed.
Yeah.
They're clean, but I haven't.
No,
I hate doing laundry.
And like some people are like, I don't fold laundry. I only hang it, and I'm like, okay, respect.
Yeah.
But like I machine wash mine, and then I just hang them to dry, and then I steam them. But all of our materials are durable. They're not like flimsy materials that are gonna fray or like our first lining was a material that did fray a little bit. Like, it was beautiful and it was so soft and nice, but it did fray, so we switched it. Like, it pained me because it was gorgeous, but it was like I can't have our girls like having to buy another. I don't want it to tear on them.
Yeah.
I want this blazer to be passed down from generation to generation.
That's awesome.
And so, like, I put my blazers through hell, and they're still here to talk about it. So that's a good sign.
That's awesome. I was gonna ask you too. So, you're a mompreneur.
Yeah.
And so you got your hands full. How do you balance it all? You're married. You have a little one that relies on you. You have a growing business. How do you stay organized, focus on task, not losing your mind?
Well, you know, I give myself a lot of grace, and I also don't expect myself to stay on task, stay productive, and I don't subscribe to like the hustle mentality. I also don't subscribe to like everything has to be organized and look pretty and be perfect. Like I'm a human, like whatever. You know. I also don't balance is not real. You know, like
right.
And there are times in our lives when like my husband's giving 70 and I'm giving 30, or when I'm giving 80 and he's giving 20.
Yeah.
Like those times are
Ebbs and
valid.
flows.
Yeah, and I don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't feel guilty about it. Like he has not stopped his career, and he has not stopped his like his goals and his ambitions to see mine grow, which
That's
I
awesome.
fully appreciate, because I'm like I'm inspired by him. Like, as you know, it's really cool because like he's inspired by like what I do and how I'm doing it, and vice versa. Like I'm seeing him grow, and I'm like, wow, that is so cool.
That's awesome.
But like our daughter, she's our priority, and the way I make it work is that I don't budge on the fact that my family is my priority. Period. Like, period. End of story. Like we had a show in Washington D.C. And my daughter's first concert was a day that I would fly out at 6 a.m. So I moved that flight. I was like, listen, I'll get there when I get there.
Yeah.
I'll sell those blazers, but my daughter's never going to have a first concert ever again.
Yeah.
So once you have that clear, like the old company that I used to work for was so helpful to me in so many ways. It just made me realize how easy this making decisions is when you know what your purpose is. And so like at this old company that I worked for, this is how they decided whether or not they would spend money on certain things. If it would make the customer service experience better, the answer was always yes. Simple. And for me, it's the same. When it comes to my company, if it will make my customers come back because their experience is so amazing, the answer is yes. And with my family, it's the same thing. If it gets in the way of my family being number one, then the answer is no. So I grow at a scale that supports that. It's also one of the reasons why, you know, this is a slow growth, conservative growth, because I don't want this to consume me. I didn't quit my job that did consume me to then go into something that was gonna again consume me. I want to be able to, like when I'm home, I'm home.
That's awesome.
Period. Like
You leave it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And when I'm home, I'm having fun with like my daughter and with my husband. We're dancing, we're cooking, we're pretending stuff. I don't know. And like I'm not waiting to live the life that I want when I'm like rich. I'm living the life that I want now.
And that's something I've learned and I've read about too is, you know, to whom much is given, much is required. But if you also live so much where you don't enjoy what you have now, you're not going to be given much later either.
No.
And you're not going to appreciate it.
No.
You know, and so I think that, you know, you have to kind of level that off where you do have that, because otherwise, if you work so hard, like I know a lot of people pleasers are like that too, but you work so hard pleasing others that you forget about what's really important, which is your family, and having that quality time there, but still having your purpose, right?
Yeah.
So it's very delicate, but it's really important to like have the
and one
duality of that.
One feeds the other.
Yeah.
You know, like I am a better mom when I am able to be creative and expel all of that energy here at my job. Like when I am able to talk to my customers and create new things and solve problems and have my own space and time, and I'm able to do that, I come home like 100% mom.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and when
because you feel productive.
Yeah.
And you're like, I've done my work for the day. Like, I'm good. I did what I needed. Now I can be present.
Yeah, and then when I'm 100% able to be the mom that I want to be, that my daughter deserves, I can come home, I can come to work, and I don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
I feel great. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sitting with you here at 7 p.m. I don't feel guilty at all.
Yeah.
Because my daughter's at home with my husband having a blast. They're doing a kitchen demo at my friend's
cute.
house.
Okay.
So she's over there with a hammer,
Oh my gosh.
breaking
that's
walls.
fun.
Like, she's having a blast.
I want to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Behavior management 101. Break some walls.
I'm hoping she's like pooped and just goes to bed after. You
Yeah.
know, she gets the zoomies before bed. It's pretty because I get the zoomies too. So it's pretty
Yeah.
fun.
They're like, ah.
Yeah, but I mean that balance.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Look at this. Okay, like the balance idea.
Let there be.
Yeah, seriously. Like whenever you get rid of the pressure to have balance, you realize, oh, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not looking for balance and I'm just looking for purpose, I can do whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I
Mhm.
love that. So, who inspires you?
My mom. My
Aw.
mom, yeah. She's such a great mom, and she's such like a problem solver. She's so amazing to be around. She's so giving. She's so generous. She's so entrepreneurial. She's had many businesses. She's so daring. She's full of life. She's chaotic in the best way. Like she's very cool. So she inspires me quite a bit. And then my dad as well. You know, he loves his career. He's a surgeon.
Oh, wow.
And he has dedicated his life, his whole life and self to this career. And he dreamt and dreams so big. Like when he was younger, he met my mom and he was in medical school. He dreamt to be a doctor in the US. He didn't speak English.
Oh,
And
wow.
people laughed at him. They're like, you come from an indigenous family with no money. Your last name means nothing. You don't know anybody important. You don't even speak the language. And you think you're going to be a surgeon in the US. And he didn't let, they humiliated him, and he did not let that stop him. Like, he is literally the last one laughing. You know what I mean? That's amazing to me. To actually have that much courage and that much like resilience, to have people, everybody doubting you and laughing at you, and you're like, nope, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna jump and I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna learn the language. I'm gonna be a surgeon, and now he's one of the best surgeons in what he does in the country. Like, that's, to me, is incredibly inspiring. I think that's why, like, between him and my mom and them dreaming so aggressively and, like, violently, like, leaving the country and coming here, I'm like, to me, like, it's, the limit does not exist. Do you know what I mean? Like, they have shown me that. And so, it's, for me, it's easy
Yeah.
to dream this big.
That's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So, what is your vision for your business in 2023? What do you guys want you and Miriam to happen?
Okay, 2023. 2023. Let's see. 2023, I just started paying myself in November. And I'm
Okay.
paying myself $2,000 a month.
Nice.
Which is like, it's
That's
something.
that's
It's something. I'm
Yeah.
happy and I'm
Hey,
grateful.
that's huge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that to start increasing that, little by little.
Mhm.
I'm hoping to hire someone part-time.
Ooh, that's exciting. I
Yeah.
can't wait for that day.
I'm so excited.
I'm like, I do all the things. I, can't
I
wait.
know. And then we are scaling this year, which is a little
Oh,
scary. Growth is always
nice.
uncomfortable. Growth always feels like trash. But once you accept that, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
this is supposed to be this way. Then you just keep moving forward. This year, we are hoping to hit up $500,000 in sales.
Ooh, that's a huge goal.
Yeah, so that's what we're working towards. We're hoping to get into more stores across the U.S.
Nice.
to meet even more customers.
Nice.
We finalized our new logo and branding, so we're gonna get that
Okay.
trademarked, which is we're excited about. Some new blazers are coming out that we're excited about too. And I'm just like honestly, I'm excited to just enjoy this. Like, I enjoy every second of this.
Yeah,
I love it.
that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
I love that. It makes it feel like not work.
Yeah, like, I don't
It's a
know.
passion.
My mom always says
Passion project.
to do it with, like, if you do it with love,
Mhm.
the message is transmitted. And so I do this with love, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Who, like, are there specific people that you listen to, like podcasts or books that you read that really help you
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur that you'd recommend?
100%. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I seem to always go back to How I Built This.
Oh yeah,
which
Guy
is-
Raz.
Yeah, I mean, everybody. I love how he tells, or I love how he lets the founder tell their story, but I also love how he leads them to that story.
Mhm.
and I like the parts that he highlights
Uh-huh.
because he doesn't just highlight. I don't like it when podcasts are like, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, like let me hear the struggle.
Yeah, I like to share the struggle too.
Yeah, like help me trust my struggle by telling me how you trusted your struggle.
Right.
You know, and so I love that. I read a lot of books about business, but this year I kind of want to read. I feel that my creativity is most fostered when I am not focusing on the business aspect, and I'm like doing things outside of this. Like when I'm going to a museum, or I'm looking at art, or I'm
Same.
at the park, or I'm hiking in
You
Montana.
get inspired.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just doing other things that helps this part grow. So more than books and more than anything, I recommend like exploring every aspect of your creativity, like just even outside of what you're doing.
That's smart. It's
Yeah.
a great tip, actually.
It does. Like when I'm out hiking, the colors, you know, when you see nature bring colors together naturally, you
Oh yeah. Boom.
you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, orange and pink go together so well.
Yeah. It
And
doesn't
then the
make,
blazer comes out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't. It sound right in your head, but then you see it and you're like,
Yeah,
oh.
you're like or green and red, or like green, you know, like Christmas. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
let your life inspire you.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about your brand today?
About my brand, that I'd love everybody to check it out.
Yeah.
But honestly, that it's us behind every post, every message, every email, every blazer, every shipping. It's us. So we really take customers' feedback seriously and gratefully. So if anybody has any requests or feedback or anything like that, we'd love to hear it. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. And then, so people also that are scaling their small business, you've done pop-ups.
Yeah.
What else did you do that really helped set you up for success?
Okay, so pop-ups are huge because in-person marketing is the best.
Okay.
No one can tell your story like you can tell your story.
Very true.
Yeah. Sliding into as many DMs as possible. Like, shoot your shot.
Yeah.
I have DM'd, I literally DM'd very famous people's
Instagrams.
pattern
Oh.
and like designers.
Oh, okay.
Like the people who actually create the clothes for those celebrities. I have DM'd them and been like, I can't figure out this pant, help me out.
Really, that's amazing.
Yeah, and they help me.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, listen, I know your time is valuable, so let me know if you need what I need to pay you.
Mhm.
And most of the time they're like, this is as simple as changing the fabric, girl. Change the fabric. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I slide into news anchors DMs all the time.
No way. That's
yeah,
so cool.
that's how we got into our first news station. Because I was like, I
That's awesome.
would love to give you a blazer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like foster those relationships. Like, I don't just slide in cold turkey. I start, building a relationship, asking questions.
Mhm.
How can
Sure.
I serve you? How can I celebrate you? And then after that has been done and you have felt my love and celebration and support, I ask, can you wear my blazer? If you
That's
want. And if you don't do it. We can still be
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
It's really fun. Yeah, but just be bold. Like, slide into the DMs, ask questions, make requests. You're not gonna get it if you don't ask for it.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, and then we have this, right?
Yeah.
So this is her little thing that she includes.
Yeah. So it says what we do handwritten notes in all of our packaging, but this is what I hand out like at shows and all of that when I don't have time to write the note. And obviously we're so grateful for all our customers, so we obviously thank for support. And in the back we have like our information because everybody loves hearing this story and we love telling it.
Yeah.
It's just I think that they love hearing it because like it's just two car saleswomen who are now designing clothes.
It's so awesome.
Like, it's so random.
It's so awesome. though.
Yeah, but it's because we are the customer.
Badass women, dudes.
You know, like we're just like
Big boss energy.
yeah, yeah. We're like
Yeah.
these blazers suck. Like we're making our own.
I love that.
So yeah.
And last question for you. What is your biggest fear going into 2023 and your biggest hope?
Biggest fear. Biggest fear. Biggest fear? I think at the bottom of my heart, the biggest fear would be not meeting those goals. But what's funny is that I never really meet those goals because the goals change, you know? So like, say I'm fixated on this $500,000. Well, once I learn to let go of that goal could change. Maybe it's not $500,000. Maybe it's a certain amount of customers. Maybe it's getting to talk to a certain person. Maybe it's getting to be in a certain store. You know what I mean? Maybe it's creating something new or inventing something new. So I don't think I have a biggest fear, but I'm not gonna lie to you and say that not hitting our goals doesn't scare me. But my sister taught me to catastrophize.
Yes.
And so, what if I don't meet my goal? What if I don't? What happens? Absolutely nothing.
Right.
No one dies. And I keep doing what I love.
Yeah.
I don't owe anybody money.
Yeah.
You know? I still come to work. If I don't meet my $500,000 goal, I get to go to work. What I'm most hopeful for is all the women that I get to meet. I'm so excited about the new faces I'm getting to meet. That's gonna be fun. And then all the new blazers we're creating, and you know, getting. For a long time, I was the breadwinner in our family, and so it's been a mindset adjustment. Not bringing home physical money.
Yeah.
You know. And now that I'm getting now that I'm getting to bring in physical money, I am looking forward to bringing in more physical money.
Yeah. You're like, this feels nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look, I'm a part of this economy, this household economy.
Yeah.
You know. But to be honest, like, I've had to change my mindset a lot on that because I'm a part of my household economy regardless of whether I'm bringing money in or not.
Yeah.
So that in itself has been an adjustment that I'm appreciative of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
Perfect. So, just to wrap up, go over how people can contact you, y'all's tagline, and anything you want to leave with. Yeah.
So you can find us on Instagram at PWR_WMN. That's Power Woman with no vowels. Or you can find us on our website. That's www.pwrwmn.shop. And then our tagline is Wear Your Power, PWR. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. No more vowels. Vowels are so last year.
Vowels
Vowels are over. Vowels are canceled.
Yes, they were not fetched.
They were not fetched.
This is fetched.
Yes. Power Woman. There's just no time for vowels.
No.
I'm on a schedule, okay?
We're busy.
We're too busy for vowels.
Yeah.
And then what else? That's pretty much it. Come hang out. Yeah, come talk to me.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay tuned for the next episode of Double E Elevating Entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Thanks for having
Bye.
me. That was so much fun.